What's up, everybody? Justin back here with another video. Age of Sigmar 2 just dropped. I just got my StormcastEternals Battle Tome. And it's time to go over a list idea I have. So this is my version of what everybody online is starting to call ThunderCats. This is my... Obviously, I love all the animals. Anybody that knows me knows I love all the animals of... not really of Azir, but of just... of the Stormcast in general. It's probably my favorite part about the Stormcast. Is painting all their mounts, and the new Dracolines are no exception. I'm gonna be running the Hallowed Knights because my Stormcasts are painted silver, teal, orange, gold, stuff like that, and it's kind of reminiscent to Hallowed Knights. I guess I should start with prefacing with saying that they changed our allegiance abilities and added allegiance ability. Signs of the Storm. We don't have to fucking roll anymore. Hallelujah. We get to choose when we drop down. It's still 9 inches out and all that stuff. But you can't just stack everything up in the clouds. It has to be at least half your shit on the field. That's pretty awesome. And then when you drop, there's another rule called Shock and Awe. The turn you drop, you're neg 1 to be hit. I'm going to be playing into that in a couple of these different versions of this list. So this list is going to be mainly focused around the Dracolines. I'm going to have 7 lions. Dracoline, I'm not sure. But I'm going to have 7 of these lions in the list, regardless. There are 3 Dracolines, Evocators and Dracolines for 300 points. So they're 100 points per cat. That's pretty expensive. But let's see if it's worth it. So I'm going to be running the... like I said, Hallowed Knight Stormhost rules, because they get some pretty decent buffs, and the 2 mandatory things they give you aren't terrible, and I think I find a pretty decent use for both of them in this list. The Stormhost ability for the Hallowed Knights is Only the Faithful, which is every single army-wide, every single unit, every single model gets a 6-up, negate the effect of any spell or end the spells. Period. Negate the effect. So that's really awesome. Heading into, Age of Sigmar 2.0, new season of malign sorcery, and it's pretty awesome to have a 6-up negate spell effect army-wide. Thumbs up. Then we get a command ability that we can use. This is optional. Costs 1 command point to activate. And you target a friendly Stormcast unit within 9, or within 18, wholly within 9, or wholly within 18 if it's your general. Wholly within 9 of a regular hero, but wholly within 18 if it's your general, the one using the command ability. The target of the command ability can get +1 to run and charge, also run and charge in the same turn, which will be huge. The mandatory, I'm trying to think of the word. It's called Martyr Strength. The General's command trait. The Martyr's Strength is the Hallowed Knight's mandatory command trait. When the bearer dies in melee combat, if you die in the combat phase, instead of removing the model, in this case Laura Canemon's Celestial Dracoline, before removing her from the battlefield, roll a dice. On a 2-up, she can pile in an attack before she dies. So that'll be pretty nice, because Dracolines are pretty awesome in combat. So it's not all bad. I mean, all things considering, it could be worse. And then the mandatory artifact is the Parchment of Purity, which is just the bearer heals 1 wound every hero phase. Not terrible, not amazing, but it could be worse. Then the battalion I'm running is the Cleansing Phalanx, which is 2 units of Sequitors and 2 units of Boldened Evocators, which means Evocators of Dracoline fit right in perfectly, because they have the keyword Evocators. So the list is Lords Lord Arcanum on Celestial Dracoline. I'm going to be using the Soul Bright model because I love that model. But just the generic Arcanum on Dracoline. Martyr Strength. So when she dies, roll a dice. On a 2-up, she gets to attack before you remove the model. Pile in an attack. Then her Celestial Stave that I decided to give her. So this is my one second artifact after the Parchment. Staff of Focus, which is the Celestial Stave. I think it's the first option, and it's the once per game. The bearer gets +1 to cast for the rest of that battle round, and any damage it deals, like any mortal wound damage, is +1. So it's pretty cool. And then the specific spell I gave my general is the Stormcaller. It's basically like a kind of like the Rain of Stars or whatever from the Star Drake. It's casting value 7. It's pretty high, but whatever. You roll a dice for every single enemy unit on the field. And on a 6-up, they take D3 mortal wounds. I can cast that every turn. Then the mount trait, which they also changed that. You only get 1 mount trait per army now. So regardless of how many heroes on mounts you have, only one of them gets a trait. The mount trait that I took is a Dracoline specific trait. It's called Pride Leader. All 3 of them are amazing. The first one is the Bounding Leap, which is basically turns the Arcanum on Dracoline into a Yeti, where they get the 6-inch pile-in and 6 hits activation. It's pretty awesome. Pride Leader, which is the one I'm thinking about is the best one maybe. That is every friendly boldened Dracoline, so keyword Dracoline unit wholly within 9 inches, including herself, gains +1 to hit. Period. So that means the claws and the mounts, the rider's weapons as well, gain +1 to hit. So I'm just gonna have, like I said, it's gonna be a pack of 7 lions all together, and they're gonna get all these buffs together. This is going to be pretty similar to how people used to run like a Dracoth with Fulminators or a Star Drake with Fulminators or something like that. Wizard version. Then I've got Lord Relictor, Divine Light, which it's still the same. I think it's still exactly the same. I like it the most. Translocation is awesome, but with the new Signs of the Storm, I think I'll try that first, and then if I need to, I'll switch out Divine Light for Translocation later. But Divine Light is casting value, Jesus. You roll a dice, see if the prayer is heard. On a 3-up, yay, it's heard. It goes off. If it goes off, you can either pick an enemy or a friendly unit within 18, wholly within 18. If you pick a friendly unit, enemies have to reroll unmodified successful hit rolls of 6 against it. If you pick an enemy unit, your guys get to reroll hit rolls of 1 against the enemy. So depending on what you cast it on, you get 2 different versions. You cast this light on somebody and either debuffs the opponent or buffs you. Well, either way, it debuffs the opponent. That's basically what's going on here. Then I've got Knight Incanter. She's got the scroll built into her Roar Scroll, which is the once per game Dispel Scroll, so that's really awesome. Plus the Spirit Flask for more wounds, that's really awesome. Spirit Flask is also on the Dracoline, so that's cool too, and that can also work the same turn. I pop Staff of Focus, do a crazy bunch of mortal wounds. The Knight Incanter's spell, which doesn't have any artifacts or anything, but the spell is Starfall, which is basically Lord Selson on Dracoth's breath ability. You pick a point within 12 inches, roll a dice for any enemy within 3 inches of that point. On a 4-up, they take a mortal wound. Pretty good little damage spam. Then I've got 3 units for Battle Line. We've got 5 Judicators. with the Skybolt bows, 1 prime with the Shockbolt bow. Then I've got 2 units of 10 Sequitors. I've got 1 unit with the Stormsmite Mauls and Soul Shields, and then I got 1 unit with Tempest Blades and Soul Shields. Now, the way they're spec'd out, this is the way to spec out Sequitors in case for anybody who's curious. This is the most efficient way to spec them out. A unit of 5 Sequitors comes with 2 Great Maces. Then the Prime is allowed to either have the Soul Cache or the Great Mace. The Soul Cache is an amazing model. Build 1 and paint it just to have for fun. But put that aside. You're not really going to use that in real games. Like, not competitive and definitely not tournament games. I don't think. Instead, you're going to run a Prime with a Great Mace. There's plenty of Primes with Great Maces in the Soul Wars box. There's like 3 of them. Just pick one of those up and put a head swap that has a hair, and boom, you know you have a Prime. Easy, ready to go. Every 5 is going to have 3 Great Maces. Every 10 is going to have 5 Great Maces. 2 for the first 5, 2 for the second 5, 1 for the Prime. So I have 2 units of 10 Sequitors. 1 unit has 5 Great Maces and 5 with the Mace and Shield. The other unit is 5 Great Maces and 5 with the Sword and Shield. Prime being 1 with one of the Great Maces, obviously. Each one of those 10 main units is 240 points. And their battle line, because my Lord Arcanum on Dracoline, any Lord Arcanum is your general in your Stormcast Legions. So that's pretty awesome. And those also are in the battalion. And because I'm running units of 10, they're going to be a lot tougher. They can channel either into their weapons or to their shields. If they channel into their weapons, they get to reroll all failed hit rolls. If they channel into their shields, they get to reroll all failed save rolls instead of just 1, like their shields normally do. It doesn't matter how many shields are in the unit, as long as 1 has a shield, they all get to reroll failed save rolls of 1. So that's still really nice. The Great Maces are amazing. They are neg 1 Ren 2 damage. They're just you want as many of those as possible. Then the last 2 units of the army, very, very, very tight list, are the 2 units of 3 Evocators on Dracolines. These are 300 points for 3 Lions, so they're pretty expensive. They have the Pounce. All the Lions have the Pounce, which is reroll failed charges, and then D3 damage on the charge for your claws. Mix that with the Empower spell. Now you're re-rolling failed wound rolls for the mount and the claws. Then you take the command ability from the Hallowed Knights, which is Holy Crusaders. Now you are +1 to run and charge, and you can run and charge in the same turn. Then you take the command ability from the I think it's called like Pack Leader or something like that. It's the command ability for Lord Arcanum on Celestial Dracoline, which is +1 attacks characteristics to all the claws wholly within 9 inches, including herself. Then mount trait Pride Leader, +1 to hit for all Dracoline units, wholly within 9. So all 7 mount and rider. That's a lot of buffs. Then Divine Light. If Divine Light is on something that they're targeting, they get to reroll hit rolls of 1. If Divine Light's on them, they're not going to take as much damage. Knight of Zeros, Lantern dropping down. So now they could get it from there as well if Divine Light is not within range. And there is the reroll hit rolls of 1 for your Lions for that combo. Your Adjudicator is going to be shooting at kind of whatever they want, but a good way to add more oomph is to make sure that your Adjudicators are shooting at what your all 7 Lions deep strike, just extra damage, and you have your Sequitors as backup. They've got plenty of mortal wounds to deal. You've got I don't know. I think it's a really solid list. I think it's going to catch people, not necessarily by surprise, but it's going to catch people like, oh, wow, these things really are as good as they seem. They really are worth the 300 points. So I'm pretty excited. Let me know what you guys think about the list. I'll leave a little description at the bottom so you guys can see what it is, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you guys are planning to run in Age of Sigmar 2. Doesn't have to be Stormcast, just let me know what your lists are. Peace.